world at large deals with coronavirus. How are we as individuals, as families, as communities, as organization, as a nation, and the world at large, how are we dealing with and coping with coronavirus? I wish to share a few thoughts on building resilience and how we can actually internally and as a family survive these trying times. The concept of resilience is about the ability to overcome setbacks and obstacles, deal with uncertain times, not knowing what tomorrow may hold. So, given the level of impact and uncertainty that we have today, how are we feeling? How are children feeling? How are organizations surviving and able to adapt? How are schools adapting? And do they have the relevant resources in which to make changes to provide substantive education to everyone? What tools and mechanisms are we using to cope as individuals? So, I share with you some of the theoretical foundations and practical advice that the literature offers us. It said that resilience is a process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma. Threats are significant sources of stress, and we all feel that. And we feel the impact of coronavirus and not knowing tomorrow will we have a job. How will we be able to purchase grocery? Will there be ample supplies for all of us? While we may not have the answers to that, we know that research has shown that resilience is ordinary, not extraordinary, and it's there for us to capitalize on in order to survive, and we'll be able to thrive eventually. And we all demonstrate resilience in our own ways. The research has shown that as we have less resilience, our symptoms of depression and anxiety rise. We have more mental and substance abuse diagnosis. And this comes through 25 years of research that folks at the University of Pennsylvania and others have done. We conduct problems, we have more hopelessness. As we have more resilience and we show our ability to be stronger, there is a correlation with well being, mental health and life satisfaction, health promotion behaviors, and critically, optimism and hope. We also have better social skills, and for our younger ones, better classroom engagement. Resilience in children is of utmost importance today. As parents of four children, we are always trying to find ways. The past couple of weeks have been critical. Uh, Reducing the effects of significant adversity on children's healthy development is critical for all of us and progress and prosperity of any society, regardless of country. This Harvard University study tells us that children develop resilience or the ability to overcome serious hardship, while others do not. Some children do, some do not. So, what are some of the practices, strategies that we can use in order to help our children cope? It is critical that we facilitate a supportive parent child relationship. Obvious. We also have to build a sense of self efficacy and perceived control. Self efficacy basically means do I, as that child, believe that she or he has the ability to achieve, to cope, to deal, to succeed? It's that inner belief of strength that you can actually do a task or fulfill some goal that you may choose. And we allow that child to do that. Also, we provide that perceived control that not only the end goal, but the strategy in which to achieve that end goal. Third, providing opportunities to strengthen adaptive skills and self-regulatory capacities. So it's not always jumping in and telling that child what to do, but allowing that child to also figure out how they can cope and be able to adapt as appropriate. Critically, mobilizing sources of faith, hope, and cultural traditions. So we, regardless of religion, even if you do not believe in religion, what faith do you have? What sort of hope do you demonstrate? And cultural traditions is a really good time for parents, families to be practicing the cultural traditions, whatever they may be. So the need to be optimistic, that learned optimism. In times of challenges, we are faced with what we view as limited options. Indeed, today we have limited options as far as where we can go, what we can do, etc. At the same time, how can you create a more positive outlook for ourselves and others? Will this last forever? Will the challenge that presents itself today last forever? Or do we see the light at the end of the tunnel? Can we actually learn to have a positive outlook? And if we could, how would that change our lives? So, not catastrophizing about today or tomorrow, but looking ahead, what the positives may be. Stronger families, a more holistic self, with a more joyful outlook on life. Martin Seligman, one of the leading scholars on positive psychology, explains that we're in a much better position to enhance our well being. So, the advice would be being grateful for our blessings, helping others in greater need than oneself, challenging the utility of negative thoughts and beliefs, and tackling negative self talk head on. And hopefully, this would create a more positive mindset and our view of dealing with a challenge. Winston Churchill once said that a pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist, on the other hand, sees the opportunity in every difficulty. And the research clearly shows that on average, human beings are hardwired to be more optimistic, positive than not. So, how are we trying to be more positive, optimistic, and working with our children to be more optimistic? As we look at positive emotions, many studies have shown that positive emotions are frequently accompanied by fortunate circumstances. And the virtues that we hope to instill to create a more positive approach to life include wisdom and knowledge, reading, learning, taking a different perspective on an issue, understanding the holistic view of a point, being courageous. At the bottom of all of this is love and love for humanity and just being that good human being. Justice for all. Impairments, being patient dealing with others, and spirituality and transcendence. Spirituality, that belief, a direct connection with some supreme being that you define for yourself, however you view that, but that direct connection with God. So, and by how do we pursue a pleasant and meaningful life? The pleasant life is a life that successfully pursues the positive emotions about the present, past, and the future. A good life, using your signature strengths, whatever they are, to obtain abundant gratification, whatever you're doing, whatever you like to do in the main realms of your life. So if it's playing a sport with your children, if it's reading a book, if it's working, whatever it is, have that good life. Use your strengths, whatever they are, to obtain that gratification. That's that fulfillment out of what you're doing. And a meaningful life, using your signature strengths again and virtues in the service of something much larger than you. So if you're an educator, it's not only about you, but how are you educating students so that they can flourish? If you're a manager, if you're a priest, how do you share knowledge? How do you share wisdom so that others may flourish also? So, pleasant life, a good life, meaningful life, gratification, being grateful for all that we have, and being optimistic for what tomorrow, the sunshine that will come our way tomorrow. So, hopefully, the strategies shared, the reminders, will help us to be more resilient and fight through any challenges that today brings, and we're more hopeful for the blessings of tomorrow.